fans, welcome to another episode of Barrie Wrestling's Rush Hour. I am Mike Jeffries, the host of Rush Hour and the play-by-play voice for Barrie Wrestling, and we have a huge show for you tonight, including a main event where either Pretty Ricky Willdy or Clay Wilson will get fired. And we're going to start... Why is Shiloh's music... I know we're starting with Shiloh and the state of the royal family, but I still have to do the intro.
I want all the power.
And then Musso's kind of screwed up in Grizzly's match, so he lost and had to wrestle again. And then they switched it out for Musso, who was supposed to take a dive so that he would have to wrestle in the finals tonight. But instead, he rolled up Clay Wilson. Now Clay Wilson has to wrestle in the finals tonight against Pretty Ricky, who was also screwed by Grizzly Matt. Does that kind of sum it all up?
Yeah, looking at my charts and my files, I think you nailed it.
At this point, I think the royal family is more complicated than the Anuai family tree. And if you don't follow us on social media, I mean, you should, but Kyle and Shiloh released a video where Shiloh basically said they're going to use a switchblade during their match tonight. So Kyle Boone is one of the four. We have a fatal four-way #1 contenders match coming up later here on Here Come the Wolves. Kyle Boone, Mark Wheeler, Myung Jae Lee, and Gabriel Fuerza, with the winner taking on whoever wins between Jesse V and Rajan Husher in our heavyweight title match later tonight.
But that's not all, Mike. Grizz and Musso, they've got to defend their tag team titles tonight.
And Grizzly Mac might get fired, and now Shiloh's going to talk. I know this was planned, but why? The Barrie Wrestling crowd is drowning out Shiloh with chants of Ricky. Transitioning into boos now.
Shiloh and the royal family have made Pretty Ricky's life a living hell. They have taken almost everything away from him. He's lost it all. The one thing he has left is his job. And they're trying to take that away from him too, Mike.
Are they saying Boone or boo?
Boo-oo.
Because you were on a bender.
Granted, it was a 72-hour bender.
Yeah, amateurs, right?
Well, you said it, not me. But yeah.
Celebrating my 25th?
Hey, don't go there, man.
He's the only one that won a match last show.
It was a good idea to pin a close personal friend.
It's the job to win matches, Shiloh.
Musso makes that in record sales in a single week.
Grizzly slapping his tag team partner.
And laughing about it.
What did you do? Well, from what I heard, the reason that Anthony was so weak in that match is because somebody thought that it was a good idea to start calling his shots when Kyle was around. I don't care. I don't care. I know that he was in that match because you told me.
Turnabout is fair play, I suppose.
$5 a slap. Can I get in on the action?
You guys are pretty good. You guys are pretty big fans. Are pretty McMahon. You like Ricky fans, but I don't like pretty
The Brantford Rattlesnake is beloved in the FLCC arena.
Oh, guys, I don't even really remember why Pretty Ricky's here. I think you want him in a game of blackjack or something. Ricky, there's a lot of reasons not to like you. One is that you're supposed to be the higher help. You're supposed to be a good. And I haven't seen you do any gooding whatsoever. These two, you all over the place. They do all over Barrie Wrestling. And you had to be with them. You have the audacity to call yourself Pretty Ricky when you stand next to two of the most beautiful people in Barrie Wrestling and probably the world. No. Absolutely not. Not every watch.
Did she just call Grizz beautiful?
I think she was talking about you and me.
Oh, all right.
That is why, going forward, Pretty Ricky, you will only be referred to by Barrie Wrestling, by the locker room, and by the fans as your governor name, which is Richard. It's
Do we have to call him Richard?
not Richard.
Do you want to anger Shiloh?
Not really.
Grizzly just slapped Richard. Musso looks like he doesn't really want to. Musso having second thoughts.
Richard hightailing it. A combo tag slap type maneuver.
You are a two-time Barrie Wrestling heavyweight champion, and you can't even be bothered to train for your matches because you rely on what you do. You rely on us at the ringside.
They're not trios titles.
Now, I'm not going to slap you because you're too hot. But as the matriarch of the royal family, I think a little tough love is in order. And that is why, during your next match, and every match for the foreseeable future, until you win on your own, the royal family will be banned from rings.
Whoa!
This is what we need. This is what we need to step this thing up, okay? So have fun today, and you better win.
So Kyle Boone, part of our four-way number one contenders matchup, and he's not going to have any help.
Well, that's good news for the other 3 people in the match, but Kyle Boone, make no mistake, even though he's surrounded by Goon 1, Goon 2, Shiloh, and Richard, he is an accomplished professional wrestler who can get it done in the ring. And a pretty good kisser, too.
I'll take your word for it.
You just saw it with your own eyes.
Shiloh with some words of advice and words of encouragement for the self-proclaimed king of Barrie.
Boone does not seem concerned.
That segment, fans, I was on a podcast interview with our friends over in England, HCW show, and the host Dan. I just want to know for our fans in England if our royal family is more messed up than your royal family, because it's kind of a 2-horse race at this point. And now coming to the ring, another former Barrie Wrestling champion, Mark Wheeler.
That was an excellent podcast. I listened to it, and both you and Dan focused on this man right here, Golden Gun Mark Wheeler. He's got something to prove. He is trying to show these fans that his best days in Barrie Wrestling aren't behind him, but are still to come. Keep an eye on this guy in this title contender matchup.
Mark Wheeler, who suffered a significant ankle injury, was gone for 6-7 months, but has been on fire since he returned. And you know, he'd be happy to face Jesse D or Rajon Hustler, but you gotta know he would love to take on his best friend for the title. Myung Jae Lee has been a different person since he lost his title back in December. He was not pinned or submitted to lose the Three Pistols title. Van Landen was knocked out by Von Vertigo, and Van Landen was knocked out and then pinned by Von Vertigo. Myung Jae Lee not involved in the finish, and he has not been the same ever since. He was a friend of mine, somebody that I would talk to. He has completely changed inside and outside the ring since that moment.
The people they won't leave when it's threatening about divesting on one piece. The problem isn't the protest, is what they're protesting. It goes against what our country is funding. Block the barricades, no Palestine is free. Block the barricades, no Palestine is free. When I was 7,
Mr. Everything of Barrie Wrestling, Gabriel Fuerza. It has been a hot minute since that man held gold, and you know he would love another shot at the Barrie Wrestling Heavyweight Championship.
Yes, but Gabriel Fuerza is motivated by being the best Gabriel Fuerza can be. He wants to know that every time he steps in the ring, he's done something, he's accomplished something that he couldn't do the day before. I don't know if we've ever seen anyone go on a tear like Gabriel Fuerza of the past year. He has faced the best in the world, and more times than not, he's defeated them.
Well, fans, hold on to your hats or crowns. This is going to be a heck of a matchup. 4-way, 1 fall to a finish, pinfall or submission only, no disqualifications, no countouts. And Wheeler and Myung Jae Lee square off, and so do Fuerza and Kyle Boone. And Wheeler and Fuerza, synchronous 10 counts in opposite corners, pounding on Boone and Myung Jae Lee. Oh, but Boone dumping Fuerza to the outside. Wheeler continues to pound on Myung Jae Lee. Dragged down from behind by Boone, but Wheeler with the block and a counter and another right hand. That one stunned the wave maker. Hard Irish whip into the corner, but Boone counters with the back elbow. Boone off the second rope, caught incredible strength by the Golden Gun. And Boone feeling that boot from Myung Jae Lee. Fuerza, where did he come from? Hurricane run off the top. Wheeler with a suplex out of the slam onto Boone. Incredible strength from Wheeler. Now it's Wheeler and Fuerza in the ring. Wheeler with a shoulder block. I'm gonna need my puffer before this match is done. And a trip by Gabriel Fuerza. Brilliant veteran maneuver. Wheeler going for the same, but Fuerza get around it. And Fuerza, the exact same move I believe we saw from Alexia earlier today with that roll up into a roll through, but not able to get the 3 count. Wheeler with the Irish, but Fuerza ducks the clothesline. Myung Jae Lee picks the ankle on Fuerza. And then Boone with the cheap shot from behind on Mark Wheeler.
You know, we have a history of really amazing multi-man matches here in Barrie Wrestling, multi-competitor matches. But this may be the most loaded ever. 3 former Barrie Wrestling heavyweight champions. How many 3 Pistols title reigns are there between these guys?
Well, and how many days of those reigns? Myung Jae Lee had the longest reign in history.
Fuerza, a 2-time 3 Pistols champion. Wheeler, a long-time 3 Pistols champion. Boone, of course, a king of Barrie. Fuerza, a king of Barrie. Wow, this is Barrie Wrestling right here.
Absolutely. And now a little bit of teamwork from Myung Jae Lee and Kyle Boone. Although Wheeler saw Myung Jae Lee coming in, and the elbow, and then a lariat takes down Kyle Boone. Boone with the counter. Wheeler floats up over the top. Wheeler with a head of steam ducks under. And one of the best drop kicks in the business from Mark Wheeler into that front flip kip up. Boone, though, able to counter Wheeler coming in, but he eats a boot for good measure. Oh, Wheeler was looking for, I'm not sure, if Myung Jae Lee pulls him down into the apron. Oh, but there's Fuerza with the roll-up on Boone. Fuerza looking to win this. Boone kicks out, and gotta have eyes in the back of your head here as Fuerza takes a knee from Myung Jae Lee, a boot from Kyle Boone, and then a stomp from Lee to the back. Myung Jae into the cover. Boone looking to break that up. They know only one of them can win. Diamond Jim, it is hard to keep up with everything that's going on in this matchup. And you mentioned that we have a great history of multi-person matchups. We had a 5-way match, I want to say 2 Junes ago, won by then-champ Gabriel Fuerza. That was my pick for match of the year that year. And we know Gabriel Fuerza knows how to get it done in these kind of chaotic matchups. Myung Jae Lee for the 3rd time interfering from the outside, but again, no DQs, no countouts in this matchup.
Well, when you and I were talking about the great matches in 2023, we referenced that 5-way matchup, which, you know, in hindsight, that may stand the test of time as the greatest match in Barrie Wrestling history. But we've got a contender here tonight. This is non-stop action for wrestlers who want that title, and they're going to do everything they can to become #1 contender.
Well, and one of the other competitors in that matchup was Kyle Boone. He came up just short. Has he learned from his mistakes? Myung Jae Lee lost his title without getting pinned or submitted. Has he learned from his mistakes? And the man who beat Mark Wheeler for the Barrie Wrestling Championship was Gabriel Fuerza. Has he learned from his mistakes? Myung Jae Lee with a just a flat chop to the chest of Gabriel Fuerza. Myung Jae Lee and Kyle Boone working together is a dangerous combination.
Well,
Although-
they were working together, Mike.
Two men who are, so I was gonna say they're both stubborn. I don't know if Kyle Boone is stubborn or just the definition of doesn't know better.
It's the latter.
But Myung Jae Lee now going for a superplex. Boone cheering him on enthusiastically. Fuerza looking to counter and just dropping Myung Jae Lee on his face.
It absolutely makes sense for them to team up against Fuerza. No matter what accolades we say about the other three, Fuerza is the GOAT. He is the greatest wrestler in Barrie Wrestling history, and he is always the favorite to win the match he's in.
Kyle Boone screaming for his life, fighting for his life. Fuerza, cross-body electric chair drop. Fuerza taking out Kyle Boone. Fuerza risking his own chances here just to take out Boone. All three men are down. Myung Jae Lee is down on the outside. Now all four men squaring off, throwing rights and lefts in the ring. Fuerza and Boone. Myung Jae Lee and Mark Wheeler. Wheeler and Fuerza getting the better of the exchange. Two Irish whips, two big lariats, and two more. Lee and Boone.
Here we go.
You think these two men have shared a ring a few times before?
And you could feel it in the room.
Wheeler there trying to pick up the win at the roll-up. Ducks the clothesline. Going for the revolver. Great counter by Fuerza. Had that mat move well scouted. Picks legs going for the Boston Crab. Can he transition into the Witcher Lock? Just deep into a Boston Crab. Clubbing blows to the back by Myung Jae Lee. Breaks the hold and then a suplex, stalling suplex. Dropping Fuerza. Boone, springboard clothesline off the middle rope. Wheeler with a boot to the midsection on Boone. He's back up to his feet. Boone counters the Irish whip. Counters it a second time. Stiff right hand from the Golden Gun. What a spinning Uranagi from Mark Wheeler, countering after ducking the clothesline. Boone survives, kicking out at 2. Innovative offense from Wheeler. Fuerza planting Wheeler. Myung Jae Lee went for broke and got nothing. Oh, spinning enziguri from Wheeler, or from Fuerza. Wheeler gets caught. Cutter alt delete from Fuerza.
Fuerza's going to become the
Morning
number
Star
one contender.
press. Myung Jae Lee breaks it up. I need to take a breath.
This must be eating away at Myung Jae Lee there. That was shades of the Three Pistols matchup just a few months ago. He almost lost his shot here because the two people that have nothing to do with him. Oh!
Myung Jae Lee with his leg being held by Fuerza just got super kicked into next week by the Golden Gun. Now Boone and Wheeler trading forearms in the ring. Wheeler with the counter, discus forearm. Wheeler just ran into that pump knee from Kyle Boone. Wheeler's on Dream Street, snap German, bridge by Fuerza. Boone, he's got them both covered. Oh, and Myung Jae Lee just double stomped all three of his opponents. He's got a cover on Boone. 2 count, Kyle Boone kicks out.
Can you imagine Shiloh's reaction if Kyle Boone had been in there?
Let's see the replay from earlier. Fuerza that incredible Doomsday device cross body on Kyle Boone. But honestly, the last 5 minutes of this matchup we could just show is one big replay. Standing switch, series of standing switch between Fuerza and Myung Jae Lee. Fuerza jumps over the top, going for the cutter alt delete. Caught by Myung Jae Lee. And no DQ. Myung Jae Lee with the shot right to the Diablos. And Myung Jae Lee is the number 1 contender.
You talked about it, Mike Jeffries. Myung Jae Lee is not the man you and I used to know, but he is, if anything, more dangerous in that ring. And I don't care if you're Rajan Husher or Clutch Jesse V. If that man's put a target on your back, watch out.
Why does he have a microphone?
He's rich. He probably bought 5 of them on the way here. By the way, he bought your car and your house.
Well, that is Kaz Jordan still on the injured list with an ankle injury.
Well, his mouth sure isn't injured, Mike Jeffries.
It works, unfortunately. We are starting off with a tag team match. This is top tier talent, which is going to be a combination of the great one, John Atlas, and the stomper, Julian Ward, accompanied by the mouth, Kaz Jordan. And they're going to be taking on a team that we have not seen team together here in Barrie Wrestling, but I have been waiting for this. Jim, get on your feet.
Fans, if you've not... Fans, if you have not seen Fresh Air before, you are in for a treat. This is one of the most exciting, high-flying, and talented tag teams on the planet today.
They only started tagging together in 2022. They were already named number 61 on the PWI Top 100 for tag teams in 2023. They're trained by one of the best tag teams in the world, the Super Smash Brothers, Evil Uno and Stu Grayson. These guys, they were incredible as individuals, and as a tag team, they have taken it to the next level.
Yeah, you and I have been around for so many great hot stepper matches, so many great big boy matches, and man, we've watched them online together. These guys are incredible. However, they are going up against the most accomplished superstar in Barrie Wrestling history, incredible athlete, and then maybe the toughest and meanest man in indie wrestling. Fresh Air are not getting an easy night in the ring tonight, Mike.
Absolutely not. We have seen them both in singles action here in Barrie. Junior Benito started with us in the All-Ontario Cup, pulling off an upset over John Reed in the first round. If you want to go back a couple years for that. And the young ref having a moment with Fresh Air, rocking the gold chain and the bucket hat.
Hey, he's doing his job in style.
He's right. Ref did look kind of good with the gold and the hat.
Didn't you rock that look back in the 50s?
Easy there.
Rock, paper, scissors for who starts the match.
But yes, we did wear bucket hats in the late 80s and early 90s. Smart Alec.
Fans, this is Here Come the Wolves. What a show we have for you. We have 2 title matches. We have the finals of the Fallout tournament. And Jim, as I mentioned, we have, for the first time, tagging together here in Barrie, Big Boy Junior Benito, the hot stepper Macrae Martin, Fresh Air, Jim, they have wrestled in 6 countries. They have been all over the world. We've seen them across the U.S., England, Scotland, Wales, and of course Canada. And is Julian Ward gonna cut a rug?
He's actually a 6-time national wallaby dancing champion in Australia.
I don't think that's true.
It is totally true.
Walk up the middle, Julian Ward taking a side headlock on the hot stepper.
Wallaby dancing is really difficult.
I will take your word for it. Hot stepper sending Julian in and shoulder block in the middle, hot stepper. And Junior Benito synchronized dance moves. Ward showing his hips don't lie either. Now it's the great one, John Atlas. Jim, I gotta say, he and Macrae Martin, that's a singles matchup I would love to see. Very, very similar size and very, very different styles.
Absolutely. John Atlas, all business in the ring. However, in his younger years, when he was known as the Playboy John Atlas, yeah, he bust a few moves in that ring.
Macrae Martin climbing the ropes. The invisible rope. The psychology of Fresh Air really seems to be messing with top-tier talent. Are we going to see some wallaby dancing?
How dare you doubt me? Absolutely textbook wallaby dancing there.
Looked to me like a boot to the midsection. Top tier talent with the double team on the hot stepper. Sends him in, hot stepper runs to the double clothesline, and a double shoulder block from Macrae Martin, who Diamond Jim, I'm going to say, might be in the best shape I have ever seen him in. You know, I was talking to Fresh Air in the back before the show, and Macrae was saying that Junior's been a great influence on him, and I think vice versa. These two have really found the ideal tag partner for themselves. In an incredible high-angle hip toss.
Look at this.
What do you even call that? Macrae dumping Junior Benito on top of Julian Ward. The stomper down for a 2 count, able to kick out. The big boy, just got chopped down to size. That wasn't a spoon, that was a knife edge chop.
And now the great one enters the ring.
And just beating down on Junior Benito. The former Barrie champ sends Benito in, and he picked that up from Macrae Martin. These two men learning from each other. Martin with the sidewalk slam. Benito back in, over the top with the senton. Tremendous athleticism, and look at this. Benito holding Julian Ward with his feet, and Macrae Martin with the running dropkick. Fresh Air firing on all cylinders here, and the FLCC is impressed.
Yeah, because we haven't... Oh, hold on.
Macrae Martin looking to fly Atlas out of the way. And then sending Martin headfirst into the ring post. Keep an eye on Cash Jordan in the background, too.
I was about to say, Mike, because fans here haven't really seen a lot of either of these wrestlers, a good but muted reaction when they came out. But boy, have they ever won this crowd over in a hurry.
Benito, Atlas lowering the drawbridge on Benito. He goes up over the top, and Julian Ward distracting the young ref. Atlas and Cash Jordan taking some cheap shots on Benito. Macrae Martin on the outside as well. Fresh Air is in trouble. Benito rolled back into the ring by the great one. Outlaw into a cover, the stomper into a cover, a 2 count.
You got to think the royal family, especially Shiloh, is scouting this matchup because the winners of this match are going to catapult right into contention for those 400 North Tag Team titles.
Cannot disagree. One of the top tag teams going on the indie circuit, and then a team we've never seen before. I don't think has ever seen before in Atlas and Julian Ward. But Julian Ward, a tremendous tag wrestler, and Atlas just a tremendous wrestler.
Just tremendous, period. Tremendous wrestler, tremendous football player, tremendous rugby player. All he does is win, Mike.
Well, I was going for the cover on Benito. Benito able to kick out. Now Atlas working the upper back, the shoulders, and the neck of Junior Benito, and insult to injury, Cash Jordan right in Benito's face. Oh, and Jordan with the cheap shot, and Julian Ward. Meanwhile, Atlas with a cheap shot on Macrae Martin. The 3-on-2 numbers advantage paying off for top-tier talent. And the official getting involved with Macrae Martin. Losing control of this matchup, Diamond Jim, but let's be honest, we've known enough about ATO and John Atlas and top-tier talent in general. They are not unwilling to take a shortcut.
Well, I'm from the Gorilla Monsoon school of thought. I've always believed there should be 2 referees for a tag match. There's just too much that goes on in the ring for one referee to stay on top of.
Big spine bust by Atlas, but a little bit of miscommunication. Atlas was not the legal man, and that hesitation might have been all it took for Junior Benito to be able to kick out after being planted by that John Atlas spine buster. And if you're Gorilla Monsoon, does that make me the brain? Oh, would you stop?
The brain.
Well, Atlas and Ward working the double team here as Diamond Jim collects himself. The big boy, though, battling out of it. Oh, but then Benito, just a vicious shot to the back from Atlas.
Brain.
Now double team from top tier talent, but again Benito fighting for his life. Referee's got to pick. They've got 2 guys in there, ref. Kick one of them out. It's not a tornado tag match.
But why isn't Martin just getting in there? Like,
What's your favorite food? Junior, what's your favorite food? Sliced bread!
Oh, wow. The double sliced bread from Junior Benito with some encouragement from the hot stepper.
hot
Julian
tag.
trying desperately. A hot stepper tag.
Touché.
Shotgun drop kick from Macrae Martin. Running high knee. And the SOS slam as coined by Scott Hall. The sack of stuff slam, if you will.
Don't think he called it stuff.
Macrae Martin up on top. Going for a diving clothesline. Ward out of the way. Spider kick from the hot stepper. Ward kicks out at a count of 2 9/10.
I don't think I've ever seen Ward rattled like that, though.
That spider kick caught Julian Ward right on the ear.
The tough Australian's got no idea whether he's in Barrie or Canberra right now.
Solid geography knowledge.
Thanks, Monkey.
I think they're going for the air freshen. Counter. Rainmaker. Shades of Okada. And then a low cutter from Atlas.
That's going to be it.
Top tier talent's going to steal one. Junior Benito with the save from the outside. Now Atlas putting the boots to the big boy.
I got to disagree with something you just said. It would not be stealing one. As great of a tag team, international tag team that Fresh Air are, John Atlas is never the underdog in a match. He's expected to win every match.
Would have been stealing one because they cheated. Oh! What a vicious punch from Macrae Martin. Enziguri by Benito. Oh, Ward's in trouble. Air freshener! Fresh Air is victorious in their debut here in Barrie Wrestling.
Absolutely landmark Barrie Wrestling debut for the big boy and the hot stepper, Fresh Air.
Fans, it is time for the main event of Here Come the Wolves. It's the finals of the Fallout Tournament, and one of these 2 men will be fired. And Diamond Jim, I hope it is this man.
Well, we are in complete agreement because Clay Wilson is just a despicable creep.
Clay Wilson lost twice last month at the Fallout Tournament. If you have not seen that show, it is on IWTV. Go and check it out. And he tried to pay, as we found out, $10,000 for Anthony Musso to take a dive. Musso did not. Rolled up Clay Wilson, 1, 2, 3. And now Clay Wilson is in the finals with pretty Richard.
Just Richard.
Just Richard.
Just Richard.
Richard Willdy. And one of those two men will be fired. And here comes the smoocher, the pride of Brantford, Ontario.
Careful. Don't get us in trouble.
The Brantford rattlesnake, Richard. Willdy?
Just Richard.
Making what is hopefully not his final entrance into the FLCC.
This man has had everything taken from him over the past 5 months. His titles, his friends, his name. And now he faces losing his job. This is a man who thrives on coming here. His connection with the Barrie Wrestling fans. And it could be taken away like that.
Now I have to say, I don't see any members of Top Tier Talent out here. I don't see any members of the Royal Family out here. Jim, is it possible we will have a fair one-on-one matchup to decide this tournament?
Well, if one of the opponents wasn't Clay Wilson, I might say yes.
Is it possible that all members of Top Tier Talent and the Royal Family have suffered random various misexperiences, like falling into voids?
Or gigantism?
Or turned into roosters?
This match is scheduled for one fall with a 60-minute time limit. It is the finals of the Fallout Tournament, where the loser of this match will be fired. Introducing first, he is hailing from Niagara Falls, Ontario, weighing in at 200 pounds,
The Pros Pro from Top Tier Talent, Clay Wilson, fighting for his life here in Barrie Wrestling.
and his opponent is representing the Royal Family, Richard Willdy.
They even changed his last name from Willdy to Willdy.
Listen to this crowd. We can't use that name. TCO can't use that name, but the fans are chanting it loud. They're sending a message to Shiloh and to Clay Wilson.
So it'll be Richard against Clay Wilson.
You know, you often talk about a conceited wrestler being his own biggest fan. Clay Wilson isn't just his biggest fan. He's the only Clay Wilson fan.
Well, we saw after last show, if you haven't been on our social medias to see it, there was some frustration from the other members of Top Tier Talent with Clay Wilson's lack of success, to say the least. Losing to Mark Wheeler and then again getting rolled up by Anthony Musso. We know they're here. We've seen them in competition. None of them are out here supporting Clay Wilson right now.
Well, if I'm John Atlas, who's a leader of men, who's won so many championships on massive teams, I'm using this to make Clay Wilson prove he belongs in Top Tier Talent. If he can't beat Richard one-on-one, why is he even in Top Tier?
Your guess is you're right. You're absolutely right. Clay Wilson needs to prove himself, and they're going for the quick roll-up on Richard. And Clay Wilson showing frustration early. We talk about how John Atlas is such a great planner with top-tier talent. Clay Wilson just seems to be coming in here purely on emotion, and that's a dangerous spot to be in when one mistake, a 3 seconds with your shoulder on the mat, and your career here in Barrie is over.
Well, make no mistake, Mike, this matters to Clay Wilson. He may not like the fans, he may not like you, me, coming to Barrie, but he loves the paycheck. This is how the man feeds his family. I mean, he probably doesn't have a family.
Oh, wait, we got a roll-up. Sorry, continue.
It's how he feeds himself. And losing this job would be devastating to Clay Wilson.
I mean, I assume Clay Wilson seems like a Chihuahua kind of guy. He probably has a pet at home he has to feed as well. Or maybe an iguana named Jub Jub.
Jub Jub would have left him long ago.
Clay Wilson jawing with the crowd, I think talking to the camera people. And running away from Richard. Richard on the prowl. And Clay Wilson learning why you don't tell your opponents your moves coming in. Oh, Richard with the smooch! Is that tongue action why they call him the rattlesnake?
Maybe.
Richard out for a light jog. Richard working on that cardio.
Smart avoidance there by Clay Wilson, though.
And Richard face first into the corner of the guardrail. Front of the packed house here at the FLCC. A very, very partisan crowd. Richard head first into the ring post. I don't know if you'll ever find a more partisan crowd than a Richard versus Clay Wilson matchup.
Well, there have been a handful of wrestlers who've transcended relationships with fans, and Richard is definitely one of those. He is absolutely beloved by the BW faithful. But for every ounce of love they have for Richard, they have pure hatred and distaste for that man, Clay Wilson. And look at that.
Clay
What's
Wilson
he doing getting in the face of Tracy there? Come on.
Oh, and Clay Wilson now, he's got a "You're Fired" sign and just broke it. Now it says "Yo," broke it over Richard. The Barrie Wrestling crowd giving it to Clay Wilson, and Brad Myers is kind of powerless here. As per the rules of the tournament, it cannot end in a double counter, double disqualification. The match will have to be restarted. So there's not really much point in Brad counting in this situation. Richard now taking it to Clay Wilson. They're out there. The merge tables have been cleared off. Travista there working the hard cam. You better be careful. Richard waving to the crowd. What is this? Slingshot into the table.
Richard putting Clay Wilson into a world of hurt there. He's not just seeing stars, he's got canaries and rainbows and everything else floating around his head.
And Lucky Charms.
And Lucky Charms. That's a pretty good accent. I didn't know you were Irish.
Yeah, only a little. Oh, and that was a full water bottle. That'll do some damage. Richard trying to hydrate Clay Wilson by aggressive osmosis. It's actually a pretty good name for a metal band. Clay Wilson taking a nap in the second row. This wasn't standing room only, but it might be now. Richard rearranging the furniture. Richard, what are you doing?
He's fighting for his job, for his livelihood.
Oh, going for a pile driver on the chairs. Clay Wilson blocking. Back body drop. Richard's knee wrapped around the back of the chair. He doesn't have to just worry about his job here. That could affect his entire career. See again that slingshot flipping the table.
It tells you how important their jobs in Barrie Wrestling are to both these men. I mean, we've never seen Clay Wilson in a brawl like this. He's willing to do whatever it takes to keep his job here.
Clay actually willing to get his hands dirty. Now they're making their way back into the ring area, thankfully. Back suplex right onto the apron, racking the spine of Richard. Clay shoots the half. Richard stays alive both in the match and in his career.
And remember, they're not just getting fired. This isn't like, some stipulation where they can come back in 6 months or a year. They are prohibited to be on the FLCC property if they get fired. They're being escorted right out. That's it. You're gone. You're done.
Vicious back suplex into a backbreaker, and it's not just the FLCC, Jim. We have Canada Day shows. They're not allowed to be in downtown Barrie for Canada Day. They can't even see the fireworks. Clay putting the boots to Richard. Stomping on the chest. Now Clay off the ropes. Dropping the elbow. Again into a cover. Richard stays alive for now. And Jim, this goes to show you that Clay Wilson, even on his own, no shenanigans, no royal family, no top-tier talent, no nothing, is still a talented wrestler. He's just a jerk.
I've always said that, Mike.
I don't listen. Clay with the suplex. Now Clay Wilson looking to go up top. We've seen Richard under his former name win a lot of matches with a top rope elbow. Is Clay Wilson looking to go for that? And he hits it.
Rubbing salt in the wound.
Insult to injury. Is this the end? No! Richard Willdy lives to fight another minute, if not another day.
I worry about what would happen to Richard if he lost this after everything he's been through, everything the royal family's put him through.
I mean, he's not the most mentally stable person on a good day. You're 100% right. He has been put through everything. The last thing you could see earlier when Shiloh was talking, how much Richard thrived on the response from the Barrie Wrestling faithful. This is why he comes here month after month, putting his body on the line. And look at that burst of energy from Brantford's greatest export. And then tossing Clay Wilson across the ring. Richard is so beloved in Brantford. I saw signs all over the place saying, home of the great one. That's how much they love that man.
We're going to have a talk later.
Who else could they be talking about?
We'll talk later.
Look at the anguish on Richard's face. Clay Wilson dragging himself to his feet. Richard on the other side, up to a knee. He's up to his feet, but Clay's there first. Clay with a clubbing blow to the back. Oh, Richard might be feeling it right now. And another shot to the back. Richard, he is feeling it flowing through his veins. He's got the power of hundreds of Rickomaniacs.
Richard maniacs. Don't get us fined.
He's riching up.
Richarding up.
Clay Wilson has just made him mad. The incredible Richard fired up, throwing right hands, chops, 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 and chops, and more chops.
Clay Wilson in trouble. The fired up Richard could end Wilson's Barrie Wrestling career here.
Oh, round and round they go. Where they stop, only Richard knows. Oh, but Clay lands on his feet. Got Richard hooked. Counter. And another counter. Both men going for suplexes. Both men going for Irish whips. Richard wins the battle, and Brad Myers, nowhere to go, eats it. I think Clay Wilson's chin might have hit Brad Myers right on the jawline.
Yeah, that was a head-on-head collision.
And Clay Wilson got the hardest head I know.
Richard with the pin. 1, 2. Brad Myers still out.
Off the modified rigmarole.
We could have been done with Clay Wilson.
Apologies. The rigmarole.
Thank you. I just don't want to get fined, man.
I don't want to get stabbed. Richard checking on Brad Myers. Get her out of here! Get them all out of here! And the only one I can stand, Musso, is not with them. That is somehow worse. Shiloh and Grizzly and Boone in the ring. And Richard, he knows what they've got up their sleeves. And just a gang beatdown from Boone and Grizzly. This is a travesty.
I'm sick to my stomach.
A mockery. This is shambolic.
They have taken everything from this man. But listen to that crowd.
The crowd calling on Anthony Musso. Boone has got the women's championship because he can't hold any gold of his own. Oh, right to the face of Richard. Turning his lights out with that cheap shot. The whole royal family scatters.
Oh no, not like this.
Brad Myers pulled by the hair back into the ring.
Not like this. Not like this.
No. Kick out. Kick out. Richard, the fourth king of England, survives.
The big man back in.
The jester Grizzly, along with the so-called king and queen. Couldn't manage a Burger King or a Dairy Queen. Oh, here comes Alexia Nicole. Hot stepper, Junior Benito. Fresh air. Clearing the ring. We saw Fresh Air victorious earlier. They gotta be one of the ones next in line for the tag titles. Super kick from Benito. Double lariat. Double clothesline. There goes Grizzly.
Alexia chasing Shiloh to the back. I love it, Mike Jeffries.
Shiloh running like a scalded dog. Fresh Air looking to beat some sense into Grizzly Mac and Kyle Boone. And all that's left in the ring are Clay Wilson and, by gum, Richard Willdy.
Forget it, Shiloh's gone. I'm calling him Pretty Ricky.
Pretty Ricky is fired up. Clay Wilson doesn't know where he's at. Still reeling from the modified rigmarole, but oh no, Clay looking for it. The top tier DDT. No! No! Yes!
Clay Wilson beside himself.
Call him Richard, call him Ricky, call him the Brantford Rattlesnake. Just don't call him late for dinner because he is still alive.
That makes no sense at all.
I don't care anymore. This crowd is letting Clay Wilson know that he cannot finish off the spirit of Pretty Ricky. Went for the running dropkick, missed. Caught up in the top rope. The torque on his knee. Clay Wilson in a lot of trouble. Ricky looking to finish this. Wilson trying to free himself. Ricky calling on all the Rickamaniacs. Double stomp.
Crowd on the edge of their seats. Can you feel it, Mike Jeffries?
I can. Running elbow from Ricky. Right to the forehead. Clay is down. Clay is out. Clay Wilson is fired.
Pretty Ricky Willdy has saved the day. He saved himself, and there is no more Clay Wilson in Barrie Wrestling.
Yes, there is a Santa Claus. The Easter Bunny is real, and one day the Leafs will win the cup. Miracles can happen. Pretty Ricky survives. Let's look at this glorious replay. Diamond Jim. The double
Just
stomp.
soak it in.
The big elbow. The 3 count. Put that in the Louvre. And fans, don't go anywhere because Pretty Ricky's got the mic.
Na 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 na.
Thank you so much for being here tonight. If I can indulge you for just a moment, there's some truth to the fact that me and young Clayton Wilson here actually started our journeys in professional wrestling about a decade ago together in a terrible little warehouse in St. Catherine's. And the two of us dreamed of being invited to a stage like Barrie Wrestling. So, Clay, there's been some good times, and there's damn sure been some bad times. But I'm speaking from the bottom of my heart when I say thank you for the last 10 years.
Is Clay Wilson crying?
Pretty Ricky can bring the emotions out of anybody, Jim.
So, Clay, if this is your final match in Barrie, then there is only one way to do this properly. To stand on your feet, to shake your hand like a man, to look you in the eye and say thank you for everything you've given me.
If I lived to be 1,000, I never thought I'd hear a thank you, Clay chant here in the FLCC. But Pretty Ricky extending the olive branch to Clay Wilson. And Clay Wilson shaking hands with Pretty Ricky.
Clay, is there anything you want to say to the Barrie people?
For once in his life, Clay Wilson is speechless.
Pretty Ricky, for the past 10 years, I got no one else to thank but myself. You took my job, you took my career, my future at Barrie is over. Thanks to you. And thanks to these morons of Barrie Wrestling, who's all stupid, moronic, do not deserve to see me anymore. You don't deserve to see me anymore. You know what? Get on with it. Sit, go, sit. Sit, get on with it. Well, Clay, there is actually one more present that everybody here got you. Na, 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 na.
Na, na, na. Hey, 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 goodbye. Na, 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 na. Na, 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 na. Hey, 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 goodbye. Na, 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 na. Na, 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 na. Hey, 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 goodbye.
I hate to be the guy to tell you this, but you're fired.
And that is the end of Clay Wilson in Barrie Wrestling. Not with a burst, but with a whimper.
Too bad, so sad, bye-bye.
Fans,
Ladies and gentlemen, for everybody except for Clay Wilson, thank